208 and 196 in that opening match. She looks tough for her first show since 1992.
Yes, she sure does. And right now she's probably thinking, what have I gotten myself into? I won the first match. Now I got to bowl the bowler of the decade and the bowler of the year, 3 of the last 4 years. And then I got Carolyn, and what a tough road she's got ahead of her.
Well, she made a pretty good shot, leaving that 10 pin, and she's going to change balls to shoot the spare.
Right. Going to cut down the hook. She doesn't want the ball hooking away, so it's a good lesson for everybody out there. Carry that spare ball with you.
And that's how you do it. She looked a little apprehensive about that shot.
Well, she didn't shoot too many spares the first game.
That's right. Mostly strikes with a 244. Wendy Macpherson, 32 years old, 14 years on tour, and 17 titles.
It's always a good sign when you have more titles than you have years on tour.
That's right. And you have about double or so, don't you, Lisa? 32, that would be. 32 titles, for those of you who don't know. Lisa Wagner, my partner.
Uh-oh.
Wendy Macpherson going high, 4-6-7. Not the way she wanted to start the match.
Definitely not. Look at Wendy. Oh, she has such a great game. She gets that ball from the top of her backswing. She tucks it in and just comes through so nice.
Takes the wood, and Wendy talked to us about playing farther out on the lane.
Well, here's some other finishers. And 6, Tammy Turner, her high finish of the year. She just missed by 32 pins. Laura Lee Daniel in 8th. First top 24, and she was up there most of the week. Shanna Ray, you saw her in the doubles telecast.
Julie Gardner, a good showing in 11th place. Michelle Feldman shot that 300 here in 97.
Whoa, just avoided some more disaster there. Kicked the 7 out. Gonna go for the spare ball once again. Gonna shoot just like Wendy Kelly did. Go right straight at it. Great spare for Wendy Macpherson, and Linda Kelly coming back up. Looking to stay aggressive just like she was the first game.
Career
TV stats. 9 appearances.
Another great shot for Linda Kelly.
We're going to look at Linda Kelly, 5 steps. Look at that. She has a quick hinge right there. It's very critical for her to keep that the same every time so that her timing's good at the end. Look how low she is, too. So nice and low, and especially right now, that's very important because you got to project the ball down the lane here, and the lower you stay, the better it is.
She's getting comfortable now. Look at that smile.
Well, she has bowled most of the year, and she's cashed in all but 1 tournament. She's only missed 2 tournaments this year. So she's bowled well. She's performing here when she needs to.
WIBC Queen's title, that meant a lot to Wendy. A very prestigious title. She's wanted that for a long time.
Let's take a look at Wendy Macpherson. She has as we've said before, we've seen her so many times this year, great 5 steps. We're going to look at her position at the foul line. That's what I want to talk about. Look at this position. Look at the shoulders right over the knees. And that is the position you want to be in. That ball comes through. Her balance is good that way. Direction is perfect. That's why she is the player of the 90s. And going to 2000 also. Big sigh of relief there from Wendy. She's going, hey, I finally hit the pocket where I wanted to. Coming up with a double.
Big double, and she trails by 21 pins. Linda Kelly up in the 4th frame, working on a double. Oh, great shot by Linda Kelly.
Solid 8.
Nothing you can do about that. Solid
Nope.
8. Absolutely nothing you can do. Let's take a look at this ball going into the pocket. Look at that. 5-pin just cuts right there, right in front of the 8. Turned sideways and said, you know, shoot at me.
She's going to convert the spare. And things seem to be going well for Linda Kelly, but it wasn't always that way. She told us about her trials and tribulations this week.
Right. It was a very stressful week coming into this. All kinds of problems, motorhome problems, insect in the ear problems, mild bronchitis problems. But I bowled great this weekend, so it's a happy ending.
Definitely a happy ending, and she's hoping it continues happy as she leads by 10 pins, stepping up in the 5th frame, working on a spare. And that insect in the ear, Lisa, you had a little detail about that.
Yeah, she was bowling a regional right before this tournament, and woke her roommate up. She was staying in the motorhome with Tish Johnson for that tournament, and woke Tish up and said, I got to go to the emergency room. I have something in my ear. And Tish said, Linda, go back to sleep. You're dreaming. And then she said about a half hour later, she woke her up again and said, no, really, I need to go. They pulled an insect out of her ear. It was scratching at her eardrum. Kind of gave me the creeps.
Really, and she kept it. She saved it. She covers up that spare, and Linda Kelly has a slight lead. Find out if she can hold on to that lead when we return. Don't go away. While we were away, the lead changed, and Wendy Macpherson now in the lead by 12 pins, stepping up in the 7th frame. She threw 2 strikes, and Linda Kelly, spared and struck, didn't carry out the 10-pin.
No, it was a good shot, though. Took her time, made the spare, and made a great shot on the left lane.
Wendy now working on 4 in a row.
Oh.
5 in a row.
Wow, light mixer there.
That came back from nowhere, huh?
And that's Wendy playing also an area of the lane she is not most comfortable playing. So,
well, that's right. And she said it was kind of real important for her this week to not be stubborn. She likes to play in, and she's most comfortable playing pretty far left in the middle of the lane. And she said, I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm going to play out there where I should be. And I made it to second.
Short messenger.
I think she got that hung up on her hand a little bit. Might have got a little quick. Ball doesn't quite get there at with your feet. Yep, got hung up on her hand there. That's probably a product from, having to make sure that you get pretty aggressive.
Wow.
Sometimes you might want to throw a little bit too hard, and I think that was probably in her back of her mind a little bit when she was shooting the 10-pin.
Yeah, almost a big mistake by Wendy Macpherson, but she hangs on to convert the 10. Linda Kelly now up in the 8th, max score 247.
That's a
She
big shot.
trails by 21 pins.
A very big shot right here for Linda.
Oh,
Coming up
fly
high.
that one, even the 3-6.
Well, let's look at, this is her last shot here. I think she might have hit up on that just a little bit, didn't get the projection down the lane. Left herself with a 3-6.
Really avoid
Just picks it up.
And some more finishers. 16th, Jody Ellis. She has 9 cash-ins at 11 tournaments. Rachel Perez, she's back from teaching in Reno during the WIBC Nationals. And Michelle Frank had a 299 this game. That was a high game of the tournament.
Well, Lisa Wagner, there you are in 21st. 23rd, Andrea Marshall of Frankfurt, Germany. It's her second cut in 7 events. She's talented. She'll do well out here. Michelle Arrington from Philadelphia, way to start a swing out, making a finals. Linda Barnes was our alternate this week.
Great break right there in the 9th frame to set up her 10th. Tripped the 4-pin. This ball is going to get down the lane good, though. Look at this. She projected that down the lane nice. Well, you wouldn't know that she struck.
No, she didn't look. I guess she was maybe just relieved. Okay, ninth frame's over.
That's right. That was a big one.
Max score for Wendy Macpherson, 248. Meanwhile, Linda Kelly now down to a max score of 227. Big setup shot for Wendy.
She has a heat behind that one.
Wendy will need a spare and a strike. She leads by 21 pins. Spare and a strike would give her 228. Best Linda Kelly can do is 227. So she definitely needs a mark, but a spare would make her force Wendy to have to strike on the fill ball to shut out Linda.
I can guarantee you what Wendy's thinking right here is strike now, get it over with.
Oh, wow.
Well, in 2 seconds, that just went from winner to possible loser. Look at this. What a break. What is that? The 6-pin in the channel barely tapped it.
It didn't look like it hit it enough to knock it over.
Sure didn't.
Bad break with the 7-10. Great break to knock out the 10-pin there.
Uh-oh. Ouch. Oh.
Wow.
Well, this is just left off her hand.
This opens the door for
Now, she is using her spare
silver
ball,
match.
and she knows that a spare ball is going to go straight.
Because
But when you get to that fresh part of the lane, you know, they're not using the left part of the lane.
Force attack.
So there's a fair amount of dry over there, and nothing to hold that ball back from hooking.
Linda Kelly has to strike here.
Did not
Can't
up
get the job
even
done.
The 2-4-5.
Great comeback, though, and Wendy Macpherson defeats Linda Kelly for a shot at the title. When we return, we'll recap
That's a
tonight's
good match,
action and take a look
like and
at this
subscribe.
year's crowning moments.